Decoding Portuguese Verbs, your gateway to fluent communication. Part 3. Regular AR verbs and their conjugation rules or patterns. Hola amigos, ¿cómo estão? This video is the third part of the Decoding Portuguese Verbs series. In the previous video, we learned about the different types of verbs: regular verbs, irregular verbs, AR, IR, and ER verbs, modal verbs, and some other types. If you have yet to watch the parts 1 and 2 videos, I recommend that you scan those videos first. The link is in the description. In this video, we will dive into the regular AR verbs. This video covers AR verbs and their conjugation rules. For example, falar to speak, jogar to play, and estudar to study. We will see how easy these verbs are to conjugate, memorize, and then use in the statements. We will see the examples in present, past, and future tenses. We will see 50 commonly used AR verbs and some extra tips and tricks to conjugate these verbs. Let's start. Vamos começar. Let's do a short recap on the regular verbs we discussed in the previous video. A group of verbs that follow the same patterns to conjugate with pronoun or subject are the regular verbs. AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs are regular verbs. What are AR verbs now? We already know that AR verbs are a group of verbs that are regular, that is, they follow the same pattern and their infinitive form ends with AR. For example, falar, to speak, jogar, to play, and estudar, to study. What is the verb conjugation now? Verb conjugation in Portuguese involves changing the form of a verb to match the subject's person and number, tense, and mood. As we discussed in the first part already, in Portuguese, we do not have the verb forms V1, V2, or V3 like in English. We have the verb conjugation. Verb conjugation in Portuguese is a change of verb form according to the subject. The conjugation of a verb depends on the specific verb tense, the subject pronoun, and the verb's infinitive ending. Here we can see the three different groups of regular verbs with different endings. Falar, which means to speak, ends with AR. Comer, which means to eat, ends with ER. And dividir, which means to divide, ends with IR. In this video, we are focusing on the regular verbs that end with AR, which we call AR verbs. As we see in the table, the verb falar, which is an AR verb, changes its form according to the pronoun and numbers. For now, we are conjugating it in the present tense, but later we will see it in the past and future tenses. Here, the verb falar is in the infinitive form. When we conjugate it with eu, that is I in English, it changes to falo. Eu falo, I speak. And when we conjugate it with pronoun you, that means tu in Portuguese, it changes to falas. Tu falas, you speak. This is the informal way to say you speak. And when we conjugate it with você, that is the formal way to say you, it changes to fala. Você fala, you speak. And similarly, ele fala, he speaks. Ela fala, she speaks. Elas falam, they speak. Vocês falam, you all speak. Nós falamos, we speak. Remember, regular verbs follow standard conjugation patterns, while irregular verbs have their unique forms. So all the regular verbs which ends with AR always follow the same pattern. For the regular verbs, it is easy to conjugate with the pronoun or subject once we know the pattern or rule of that group of verbs. Let's see how easily we can conjugate the AR verbs with pronouns or subject by understanding or memorizing its conjugation pattern or rule. Let's check out the features of AR verbs and their conjugation rules. The first and most, AR verbs are regular verbs. The infinitive form of AR verbs ends in AR. For example, falar, to speak, jogar, to play, trabalhar, to work, estudar, to study. If you noticed here, all the verbs end with AR. The conjugation process follows a specific pattern for regular verbs ending in AR. The stem remains constant and the endings change based on the subject. Let's see some examples of falar and jogar verb here. Eu falo, I speak. Eu jogo, I play. If you notice here, we just remove AR from the infinitive verb and we add O to conjugate it with eu. And so, eu falo, eu jogo. We use this pattern for all the AR regular verbs. If you have to say I work, eu trabalho. Eu estudo, I study. Tu falas, tu jogas. If you noticed here, we did the same thing. We remove AR from the infinitive form of these verbs and then we add AS to conjugate it with tu. So, if you want to say you speak, we say tu falas. Tu jogas, you play. And if we want to say you work, then we can simply say tu trabalhas. And to say you study, tu estudas. Now, let's see how easy it is to conjugate all the AR verbs in simple present, simple past, and simple future tenses with different pronouns. Here, you can see some regular AR verbs and their meanings in English on the right side in a light green background. I remind you again that all these verbs use the same rule or pattern to conjugate. Here, we are taking the verb falar as an example. The first step is to remove the ending letters AR from the infinitive form of the AR verb. If I remove AR from the falar verb, then FAL, fal, remains. Here, I have already prepared a table to conjugate this verb in simple present, simple past, and simple future with the pronouns. I have already removed AR from the verb falar. Now, we add O to conjugate it with eu in present simple. Add EI to make it past simple and AREI to make it simple future. So now I can say eu falo, I speak, eu falei, I spoke, eu falarei, I will speak. To conjugate it in present simple with tu, that is you, just add as. And to make it simple past with tu, add aste. And to make future simple, add aras. And now we can say tu falas, you speak, tu falaste, you spoke, and tu falarás, you will speak. Similarly, to conjugate it with l, or você in simple present tense, we add a. And to make it simple past, we add ou. And to make it simple present, we add ara. And now we can say ele fala, he speaks, ele falou, he spoke, and ele falara, he will speak. Or similarly, we can say ela fala, ela falou, and ela falara. And we can also say você fala, you speak, você falou, you spoke, and você falara, you will speak. Here again I remind you, tu and você are same to say you, but their verb conjugation form is different. Tu normally we use for the regular conversation and for the informal talkings, and você we use for the formal talkings or official usage. Similarly, we can conjugate it with else, else, vocês in simple present by adding am. And to make it simple past, we can add aram. And to make it simple future, we add arao. And now we can say eles falam, they speak, eles falarão, they spoke, and eles falarão, they will speak. Similarly, to conjugate it with nos in simple present, we add amos, and to make it simple past, we add amos, and to make it simple future, we add aremos. And now we can say nós falamos, we speak, nós falamos, we spoke, and nós falaremos, we will speak. Here, please note two important points. You can see some accents and tails in the letter A. They slightly change the pronunciation. Be careful about that. And second, you can use ir verb forms to say simple future in many cases. Instead of using eu falarei, you can also say eu vou falar. That also means I will speak in the future. This conjugation pattern or rules you can use for all the AR regular verbs. Let's change the verb falar to another verb. For example, usar, that means to use. The pattern remains the same. We remove the last AR from the verb and we add as we did with the verb falar. You can see in this conjugation table that we didn't change the pattern. We just changed the verb. I am sure you are very clear on this conjugation pattern now. Let's make some sentences of the verb usar by using this conjugation pattern table to make it even clearer. Here we want to say I use glasses to read. The verb to use in Portuguese is usar. The sentence is in simple present and the pronoun is I, which means eu in Portuguese. To conjugate verb usar with eu in simple present, we simply remove the ar from the infinitive form and then add o. As you see in the table, it is uso. So we can say eu uso óculos para ler. I use glasses to read. If we want to say they used computers to study, if you see in the table, we can easily say eles usaram computadores para estudar. They used computers to study. Now, how can we say he will use calculator tomorrow? If we see in the table, it is very easy. Ele usara a calculadora amanhã. Let's try to make more sentences with different regular AR verbs. It will help you understand it even more easily. Let's do some exercises. We have here a list of regular AR verbs on the left hand side and an AR verb conjugation table on the right hand side. We have a fill in the blank question where we need to identify the correct form of the verb. For example, here, he helped a lot. The verb ajudar is given, which means to help, and we have to make it preterido perfeito, which means simple past. First, we remove the AR from the infinitive form. Then we add OU to conjugate with L in the simple past. And now the answer is ready. Ele ajudou muito. He helped a lot. Here is another exercise. I will wait for you tomorrow. The verb esperar is given, which means to wait, and we have to make it futuro, which means future tense. First, we remove the AR from the infinitive form. Then we add AREI to conjugate with eu in the simple future tense. And the answer is eu esperarei por ti amanhã. I will wait for you tomorrow. Here is another exercise. They found a wonderful restaurant. The verb encontrar is given, which means to find, and we have to make it pretérito perfeito, which means simple past. First, we remove the AR from the infinitive form. Then we add ARAM to conjugate it with else in the simple past tense. And the answer is elas encontrarão restaurante maravilhoso. They found a wonderful restaurant. Let's see the last exercise for this chapter. We live in Lisbon. The verb morar is given, which means to live, and we have to make it presente, which means simple present. First, we remove the AR from the infinitive form. Then we add AMOS to conjugate it with nos in the simple present tense. And now the answer is ready. Nós moramos em Lisboa. We live in Lisbon. We have seen how easy it is to use or conjugate regular AR verbs with different pronouns in different tenses. You need some more practices to be used to with these verbs. However, this simple conjugation pattern applies to all the regular AR verbs, and once you are comfortable conjugating or using it in different tenses, then you can use any of these group verbs to express yourself. I believe you have a very good understanding of regular AR verbs and their conjugations with different subjects in different tenses now. You may find hundreds of regular AR verbs that follow this pattern. I have here 50 AR verbs for you which are regular and commonly used in daily conversation in Portuguese. I suggest you note down these verbs and practice making sentences using the conjugation pattern table. The more you practice, the more you used to be. I will provide you with the pronunciation of these verbs, their meaning, their conjugation forms in past, present, and future with different pronouns, and at least 4 sentences of each verb in the following 2 videos of this series. If you have any questions, please write them in the comment. I will answer your questions in the comments and also make a separate video answering all the questions you write in the comment box. I hope you like this video. If so, then please hit the like button. If you think this video is helpful for your friends or some others, share it. I am sure you have already subscribed to this channel, and if not, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon to get the next videos as they publish. Thank you very much for your learning. I will see you with the 50 most common AR verbs, all their conjugation forms, and hundreds of examples in the next 2 videos. Happy learning!